Welcome in to the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
This is come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew at rmb-builders.com. You can find them online there. You can always find them on Instagram at RMB Builders. As always, our phone line brought to you by our friends over at Southern Regional Medical Center. Real doctors, real solutions. Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, same great people, same great services, formerly Metropolitan Health Group. You can find them always online at Southern Regional Medical Center to get over there and let them help you out today. And always bringing you our phone line. We're about to jump right into our phone line as Billy Embody is going to be here. We'll talk recruiting. We'll talk football with Embody coming up here. We will also talk to Jimmy Burrow at 7:30 this morning. Big announcement from the Joe Burrow Foundation as he is teaming up with some local restaurants that Coach is going to tell us about coming up here at 7:30 this morning. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment if you don't mind. We're going to jump right into Billy Embody is he's got to get out of here pretty quickly. We will also talk about the big recruiting news of Wardell Mack pledging to the University of Florida. Give me a little volume here if you don't mind, Stewie. As we welcome into the conversation our good friend from On 3, Billy Embody, here on a Tuesday morning. Bill, good morning. How are you?
Guys, how are you?
Doing good, man. There we go, Bill. There we go, Stu.
There you go, Stuart. New board.
Bill, let's start with the recruiting news yesterday. Wardell Mack, obviously a huge target for LSU and a lot of schools around the SEC. A 5-star cornerback out of New Orleans pledges to Florida. What did you make of the news?
Well, it was surprising that Wardell Mack committed to Florida, honestly. Texas had a lot of the buzz really leaving this summer, or I guess leaving the month of July, and the Longhorns were very confident that they were going to get Wardell Mack, and LSU was hoping to have gotten him on campus for the Bayou Splash. That didn't happen. He ends up going to Florida, and the Gators went out here, and Billy Napier and that staff with a lot of the Louisiana ties that they have, Billy Napier really wanted to make a statement and try to reel in Wardell Mack from what we've gathered. You know, Corey Raymond was also involved, but this was a recruitment that guys like Billy Napier, Jabbar Jalouk, they really took ownership of in terms of trying to get this one across the finish line. And at least now they've got Wardell Mack committed. I get a sense that this one might not be over, but the three teams that had always been in the mix, LSU, Florida, and Texas, were all battling. But right now it's the Gators that come away with him. A little bit of surprising news that it was Florida, though, when he did make that decision.
I asked Shay last week on the news coming out on Colin Simmons after he pledged to Texas on whether or not he thought that was over. He did. He says he believes this is a done deal for Simmons. What do you feel on Wardell Mack here as he pledged to Florida yesterday? Do you think this thing is shut down?
I think there's going to be a period of time where, you know, Wardell just committed. You know, you never really look at recruitments too often, I should say, and immediately say, well, that one is going to go a different way. But Wardell Mack does have that chance to maybe go another direction, whether it's LSU, whether it's Texas. We'll see. Both schools, seems like, aren't going to give up on him. But there will be a period of time where things cool off. He gets committed. You know, the season starts for both Arrett and LSU and other programs, of course. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get him back on campus. I mean, you go back to the spring and there was, you know, a lot of buzz around LSU, and a lot of it was, oh, they'll figure it out. They'll get him on board, and, you know, Wardell has interest and things like that. And over the summer, the pieces just never came together. You know, he didn't camp at LSU. He didn't visit. So it was just kind of weird that that momentum from the spring just never ended up extending into the summer. So we'll have to see if they can get him to come through for a visit and maybe start things back up. And of course, it's a long way to December for things to be worked out, but I get the sense it's not done right now.
Kobe Black is another name that keeps popping up on the defensive back board list. He put out his top 5 earlier this week. LSU's in it. He's out of Waco, Texas. How prevalent is LSU in this race?
LSU's right in the mix for him. I would call them a dark horse right now. You've got Texas and Texas A&M that seem to have confidence to keep him in state right now. And this one will be interesting because Texas, you know, really they had a good run at the end of June into July, and then they missed on Corian Gibson, one of their top targets in state. But then they get Colin Simmons. But do they miss on a guy like Kobe Black, who's maybe not in that realm of Colin Simmons where they have to get him? They really have to reel him in. He's a 5-star. They want to keep him in state, but maybe A&M can get in there a little bit more. Maybe LSU can make some waves with their official visit that's expected next month. He was supposed to come through for the Bayou Splash. He ends up going to Texas A&M. So this one's a little bit more up in the air as far as what could happen. I know his brother has been pretty adamant about him playing in the SEC, and what do you know? You see 3 schools that'll eventually be in the SEC all battling it out for Kobe Black. I think LSU is just a little bit of a dark horse right now, but they're maybe gaining a little bit of traction. I think the visit could play a big part in really assessing where LSU stands here.
Billy, one school that you have been all over and covering and recruiting is Duncanville High School in Texas, just outside of Dallas. Big week for them last week as Simmons and Caden Durham both pledge. And then earlier this week, LSU picks up a commitment from Decorian Moore, the wide receiver, who is next season's top target in the state of Texas. How big was that for LSU?
Yeah, I think this is massive to get Caden Durham on board. That was a really kind of a tough recruitment for LSU to navigate because there were those ties to Oklahoma for him. But Frank Wilson does win out and gets his lone running back in the class of 2024. And he averaged 10 yards a carry last year, pretty close to it. 2,600 something yards on the ground, was a state championship MVP. He's got the verified testing. He'll run track at LSU. He's a great kid. I'm going to enjoy seeing a lot of him this fall, but also Decorian Moore. I mean, he is one of the top receivers in the entire country. Everywhere you look, he's at least in the top 50. Some have him in the top 10 pretty consistently as well on the rankings front. He is going to be really fun to watch. LSU's going to have to battle to keep him on board. Obviously, he's 2025, so a long way to go there. But he's got the testing. He's got the big playability. Duncanville has this kind of run-heavy offense, obviously with Caden Durham, but they also have a couple other backs that they rotate in here and there. Decorian Moore has been able to put up big plays after big plays in that offense and take advantage of that. And he's got one of the better quarterbacks in the country in Keelan Russell coming back. They're both in the same class. So I expect big things for Decorian Moore. That's a huge pickup for LSU. They're building off that Bayou Splash visit with him, and we're able to get him on board. And I think he's a really key piece. Now it's about keeping him on board with the Tigers, and some of those in-state schools like Texas are going to come pressing. But that was big news for LSU to get that foot in the door with Duncanville. It's a hard program to get into.
One commitment date that everybody is going to be watching over here is September 28th, as Tyler Busey has set his commitment date, a huge five-star athlete out of Texas that looks like it's coming down to LSU, Bama, and A&M on this thing. What are you hearing on Busey?
Yeah, Terry Bussey, but I feel you on that. I feel you on that. It's okay.
Gary Busey?
It's okay. Right. I think LSU is probably sitting number 2 in this recruitment right now, at least from kind of what I'm hearing about it. I think A&M has a lot of confidence. This is a recruitment that was not expected to go into the fall, so that is a good thing for LSU. They're going to get an official visit next month from him, and he does have some family that really loves LSU. He's from East Texas. He's a really interesting just prospecting young man because he's lost some of his family members and he's just got a unique family situation. But he's a 4.0 student. He's done it all for Timpson. He's a team first guy. He plays quarterback, but most schools are recruiting him at wide receiver or defensive back. And he's got the verified testing to back it up. I think he ran a sub 1100 meter with a torn meniscus this spring, which is pretty insane. And then he finally said, this is hurting too much. And he got it operated on. So tough kid too. He's been through a lot in his life, but now he's kind of coming down the stretch of his recruitment. There's a lot of confidence on Texas A&M's side. LSU is going to get a visit. Alabama has gotten him on campus, and the Tide are kind of lurking in this one. They've done well in East Texas. They've got Casey Poe committed, but it does seem like A&M sits in a pretty good spot. We'll see if LSU can really turn it. There's some people that are at least feeling good about the conversations they've had with Terry around maybe, getting more of a shot. He unofficially visited in June. LSU was able to save the official visit. He wants to have this decision done so he can focus on his senior season. It's been long thought of that A&M is going to win out, but now that it has stretched into the season, maybe the door is creaked open for LSU to make a statement with their visit and reel him in. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. He's the number 2 athlete. He's a 5-star. I think if LSU can get him, that would be just massive. I mean, he really, really could do a bunch of different things for LSU.
Billy, I know you got to get out of here. Last one, Dominic McKinley, the state's top recruit. He made his top 5 and said he was going to be surprised. He would surprise people on his announcement. What are you hearing on the latest?
Yeah, this one is really difficult to kind of read through because if you kind of track all of the different things, you've heard Texas buzz, you've heard Oklahoma buzz, we've heard Ohio State buzz, we've heard LSU buzz coming off the Bayou Splash that maybe they made a move in his recruitment. And then there's Texas A&M that's really been lurking. They had, official visit all the way back in June too. I think he's right. I think he's going to surprise some people. I don't know if LSU has made enough of headway in this recruitment to get him. That's kind of where I stand. I think he's somebody that has visited a few times, which is good. He's at least come through. But I always feel like it's not the same as Colin Simmons, but LSU has had to battle to stay in and to try and make a move with Dominic McKinley's recruitment. And so I think you look back at Tylen Singleton and you see him not visiting LSU for a long time and then all of a sudden committing. So there's that side of it. Dominic McKinley, maybe has played his cards so close to the vest and he's had an eye on LSU this entire time. But on the flip side of that, you just can't ignore the buzz around some of these other programs. Even a couple people have talked about Ohio State really being at the forefront of this recruitment, which is a long way from home, of course. But Larry Johnson's one of the best defensive line coaches and recruiters in the country. And you look at the battle LSU's having to go through for him. You've got Elijah Robinson recruiting him. He's one of the best, if not the best, current defensive line recruiter in the country. Bo Davis has that veteran defensive line record that he's got. And Todd Bates at Oklahoma. I mean, he's done it at a very high level back to Clemson. And LSU's just had to kind of punch and, battle to get him on campus and to really make headway in his recruitment. I think they've done that with the Bayou Splash. I just don't know if it's enough. They keep things really close to the vest. This one's going to be really interesting. I think he's right. I think he's going to surprise some people.
Billy Embody from 1-3, as good as you'll find in covering recruiting. Make sure and give him a follow on Twitter or on X at Billy Embody to keep up with what's happening there at on3.com. Safe travels, Bill. We'll talk soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, there he is. Billy checking in this morning with a little recruiting update there. Doesn't sound good on the state's top two recruits there. Wardell Mack, who committed yesterday to University of Florida, and then Dominic McKinley, who said he's going to surprise some people after his top five did include LSU. Hearing Ohio State on Dominic McKinley, as Billy alluded to there. We're going to talk to Coach Jimmy Burrow here in a couple of minutes, as Coach Burrow is going to be giving us the latest on what's going on with the Joe Burrow Foundation, as they've got a big announcement that they have made in the cities of Cincinnati, in Athens, Ohio, and in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So we will hear from Coach Burrow coming up, and we will obviously get an update on the calf of Joe and just where he is about a month out from the start of the NFL season. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by the Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a pediatric patient, a high school athlete, a member of the New Orleans Saints or Pelicans, a weekend warrior, or even a senior citizen, all of us turn to Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute for care. You can log online, oshner.org/sports medicine to learn more. Every day, we are trying to get back into the game, and if you can't get back into the game and looking for some help, get in touch with Oshner, oshner.org/sports medicine. Really love our partnership with our friends over at Oshner. We saw Dr. Burnham stop by last week. He was reminding us about what's coming up here with high school football season. If you're a high school athlete and you suffer an injury, whether it's throughout the week or on a Friday night, they will have their facility over at the Grove campus over there off of Bluebonnet open Saturday mornings for anyone to walk in there, whether you are a high school athlete or you're a parent of a high school athlete and just looking for some care on an athlete that needs somebody, a professional to look at. Check out our friends over at Oshner every Saturday morning. Oshner.org/sportsmed to find out about Dr. Andrews and the partnership over there. Really looking forward to going over and meeting Dr. Andrews here in a couple of weeks, and we'll bring that to you here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, big news yesterday at LSU that's traveling around with Denver Harris. And Harris not a part of the team picture yesterday. And obviously we have some really good connections on the Denver Harris situation. And if you've been watching the show over the last couple of days and weeks, we've been telling you about this Harris situation, on what LSU really thinks about Harris and what's going on with him. First, it has to be said, and this is a great example to highlight this. This is Brian Kelly's program, and he's running it to his standard. And there is no one that is going to be allowed to stretch a rule, push a rule, move any type of, really kind of, that they're not going to compensate for anybody. They're not going to, I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying I have not been told that happened, has happened. What I have been told is that Denver Harris continues to just stretch the rule a little bit. You have to be at a meal at a certain time. 2 minutes late is 2 minutes late. It doesn't matter if it's 120 seconds or 60 seconds, it's late. And the way that the program is run is that if you're late for certain things, if you miss certain things that you are scheduled and supposed to be at, then you get docked points off of what your SWAT team is given points for, and that's how you're graded within the program. That's how you're evaluated within the program. And when it comes to testing, when it comes to the football stuff, it's very easy to understand that Denver Harris is one of the top players on the team. And for LSU, who was ranked again in the top 5 in a preseason poll that was announced yesterday, to be the 5th or top 5 team within the season, Denver Harris has to be on the field. But first and foremost, if he can't adapt to what the principles of the program are, well, then he can't make it. If you go back to our conversation with Brian Kelly over the summer, one of the things he says very early on in the conversation is that when he got the job, there were certain guys on the roster that just didn't meet the standards of what the program was going to ask for. And it was that simple. And that was on the first day, and that can be within the second year. That's how the program is run, and nobody's making excuses. And my former roommate and still friend to this day, Tack Miner, is Denver's stepfather. They say stepfather, but he's been in Denver's life since he's 2 years old. I won't bring you into, our personal conversation, but I told him yesterday, man, I'm proud of you for the way that he handled the news of what happened to Denver. The way that he was talking to me, it's time for him to get this. And I think LSU was trying to send, I don't know anything official, and I didn't hear anything from my source, who everybody knows is on this situation, Tack, that he is suspended. I have not heard that. I'm not here to say that he is. I have not been told that by anyone. I do know that they scared the ever-living hell out of him. And if he's not going to walk the line now, I don't know if he ever will. But the message from what I was told was sent. And it hit. And I don't know internally how they're handling Denver Harris, whether he's suspended, I don't know any of that. From what I was told, he's still on the team. And he understands that there's a line to walk, and it doesn't matter who doesn't. If you're not on the line, you're off. You're off. You're out. And from what I was told, that's where it sits. I have nothing on a suspension. I have nothing on status on the team. I do know that he's on the team, that he missed the team picture because he showed up 1 minute late to a team meal, and 1 minute late is late, and that was the latest in the line of just little micro type challenges of the rule that ultimately cost him a chance to be in the team picture. That hits. I mean, that would hit me if I was a part of a team and I wasn't able to be a part of the picture showing that I was on the team. And from my clear understanding, the message that LSU was intent of sending to Denver Harris got to Denver Harris. That if you don't start walking the line now, you're running out of real estate. And you just got to hope he gets it. Just got to hope he gets it. I mean, at this point, I mean, that's where it's at. So,
I mean, does it feel like the punishment fits the crime?
I don't know that.
The more you think about it,
I don't know all of. I don't know all of the details. I mean, what I was telling everyone last week on this show was things that I was getting from both LSU and from TAC. I mean, it was a clear message that was being sent of, hey, he's running with the third team because he needs to take that next step of maturity. He needs to understand that there's accountability. And what I think he has to understand is what they're really trying to teach him is, hey, man, you show up 2 minutes late for a meeting in the NFL, you're not missing the team picture. You're fined $50,000. Like you miss a team meal that you've got to be at for your job. I mean, this is what you're ultimately interviewing for, right? This is what you're trying out for, is the next step of this job process. You're in the minor leagues of, the NFL. And once you get to the NFL, everybody's got that type of talent, right? I mean, like, that's the great separator right now is, maybe Denver Harris's rope is a little longer than everyone's because he can play. But it's still a standard at LSU that if you don't walk the line, you're going to run out of real estate. So that's what I know in the Denver Harris situation. And I'm telling you that the honest truth, that's all I got. I don't know anything about a suspension. I mean, I saw Don Gill, Jordy, stop lying. I'm not lying. I mean, what do I have to lie for? I mean, serves me no good to lie about it. I mean, I'm telling you what I know. I mean, that's ultimately where it sits from what I've been told from somebody that's very well connected to Denver Harris. Daily, we're brought to you by Hughes Mechanical Contractor. Remember, Hughes Mechanical Contractor. You can find them online at hughesmechanical.net. And look, it is hot right now. I saw where New Orleans posted the hottest week of all time last week. The hottest week on record in New Orleans was measured last week in the city. And if you're in that listening area, or if you're in South Louisiana, whether it's Baton Rouge, Zachary, Central, Walker, Denham Springs, anywhere in this listening area, or if you're outside of the state of Louisiana and you want to check out Hughes Mechanical Contractor, check them out online at hughesmechanical.net. But you can get in touch with them there. They provide you with residential and commercial HVAC services. They can help you with your service of your air condition as well. Today, you can get in touch with them to service. They are a Daikin trusted dealer over at Hughes Mechanical Contractor, so you can get in touch with them today. HughesMechanical.net and call them 225-658-2147. Tell Travis Hughes that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. When we come back, we'll talk to Coach Jimmy Burrow. Coach Burrow's got an announcement about the Joe Burrow Foundation with something that's going on down here in Baton Rouge. We'll also get the latest on Joe, on how he is, as he's rehabbing that calf that he went down with on the first day of training camp. And we'll get the latest on what's happening up in Cincinnati with Coach coming up here next on the Jordy Culotta Show. Come back with us, as always, built by our friends RMB Builders.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge. Is it time to wash your house or business? Call the pros at Hydro Wash today. Get them out with their low-pressure, soft-washing cleaning approach. From commercial buildings, rooftops, and residentials, Hydro Wash is ready to get your place shining. Find them on Facebook or call Curtis at 225-933-7068. Take it from me, Hydro Wash came by and made my house look like new. What was best was the professionalism. They picked up everything, made the clean, and then put everything back to where it belonged. Get in touch with Curtis today. Call him at 225-933-7068 or find Hydro Wash on Facebook.
All right, welcome back here. Jordy Culotta Show is always built by RMB Builders. Stick around. We will get back to the LSU football discussion. Some of the recruiting information that Billy was able to give us early in hour one. We'll get all back to it, but always look forward to linking up with our favorite, Coach Jimmy Burrow, of course, Joe's dad, with a big announcement coming down here to Baton Rouge. Cool thing with the Joe Burrow Foundation as their Joe Burrow Foundation Dine for 9 campaign. We all remember, of course, the magical season of 2019 down here in Baton Rouge. It was capped off by Joe taking home the Heisman Trophy. Not only did he take home the hardware that night, but he delivered one of the most inspirational messages that has ever been delivered by a college player on that stage, one that stuck around in the city of Athens, obviously now in throughout the state of Ohio and really throughout the country. And Baton Rouge, of course, so cool to be a part of all of this, is going to be one of the 3 cities that will be recognized for the latest event in the Joe Burrow Foundation. And we welcome in Coach Jimmy Burrow here to the discussion this morning. It's great to see you, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. I really appreciate you having me on. I've missed being on. It's been a while.
It has been.
That time of year.
It's been way too long, and we'll be checking in regularly now here in season. But before we get to football stuff, Coach, you got some good information. You got some good announcements coming up here with Joe's Foundation, and Baton Rouge is one of 3 cities that'll be a part of it.
Yeah, it's Dine for 9. Joe Burrow Foundation. Dine 9 for 9, and it's going to be September 9th, and we're raising money for good causes. We have grant applications on the joeburrow.org website, and different restaurants are signing up in that particular day. Either their 9% of their profit or their sales will go to the Joe Burrow Foundation, and we've had a great response. Walk-ons is in and Raising Cane's is in. So those are, two of my favorite. Those guys are on our Joe Burrow Foundation board. So we've had a great response, and the money that's raised down there will go all to that area. And we're looking forward to it. If you can't get out to a restaurant that particular day, then you can just go on our website and $9 for 9. So number 9 has gotten to be quite a good number down there in Cincinnati and Southeast Ohio. So we're excited about it. So anything anybody down there can do to help us out, we'd appreciate it.
You're damn right, Coach. Nobody will ever wear it again down here in Baton Rouge after 2019. But look, the goal of the 9 for 9, the Dine for 9 fundraiser is to raise funds and awareness for the Joe Burrow Foundation and their mission to help families to overcome food insecurity, and that will be the fund goal. Raising is around $600,000. It will be going towards the Do Good grants, and as Coach said, Baton Rouge is one of the cities alongside Cincinnati and Athens. You can learn all about it online at Joe's website. It's joeburrow.org. Is that right, Coach?
joeburrow.org, and along with the food insecurities, there will be some of the grants that are awarded for children's mental health down there, and again, Cincinnati and the Athens area. So it's kind of a twofold event, but the fundraiser is going to the restaurants and having a good night out. And we've had a lot of great response from the restaurants down there, and all of Ohio, LSU for sure, Cincinnati and Athens. So great cause, and we're excited to be a part of it.
JoeBurrow.org if you can sign up. And as Coach said, if you can't make it out to a restaurant there on September 9th, you can just jump online at JoeBurrow.org and donate $9 in honor of the foundation. And as always, it's going to great causes. Coach, my favorite story coming out of Cincinnati Bengals social media is how many people they've had to tell to stop asking if they can donate their calf to Joe for the season. How is the most famous calf muscle in America right now in Joe Burrow? How is he?
I was at practice yesterday, but I didn't see him. I didn't talk to him. So hopefully yesterday went good. But he's getting better. The goal is to play against the Browns, and those calf muscles are tough injuries to overcome. You can't come back too soon. But yes, people are wanting to donate their calves. A lady yesterday at practice had a wrap on her calf as kind of honoring Joe for that particular day. So it's weird. I get it, but everybody's really been supportive. And hopefully, he'll be able to practice for a week or two and then be ready to roll against the Browns.
Yeah, no way he misses a snap. I mean, there's no way he's going to miss a snap.
I wouldn't bet against him being there. That's for sure.
Coach, one thing, if people that are paying attention to the national media, one thing that has resonated, it feels like, is it's finally he's got his respect. It seems like from coast to coast. I mean, he's now in the conversation of, kind of the greatest not to win one yet, the guy that can battle Mahomes, kind of the guy that's going toe-to-toe with the giant.
Right.
What is that like now for him? It feels like he's in a different realm.
Well, the top-tier quarterbacks that they usually list, there's probably, 5 maybe 10, but he's certainly in that group, but he wants to be the best in the world. That's his goal, and I think in his mind, and it's just like when he went to LSU, it was to win a national championship, and until he did that, he still thought maybe there were other quarterbacks that would be considered better, and it's the same thing now. He wants to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is certainly worthy of his number 1 ranking. He's won 2, so Joe still finds something here and there to motivate him, and I'm sure knowing that Patrick has 2 and Joe's yet to get 1, that's a motivating factor for Joe to continue to get better.
By no means I want to ask you anything about the negotiations or the numbers or anything, but how much does he pay attention to staying competitive, knowing that they've really got to commit to him. There's a big financial commitment that they have to make to him. But I know ultimately he wants to stay competitive, right? He wants to play for as many championships as he can. What models does he look at? Is it Brady, Mahomes that he looks at, kind of that says this is the blueprint?
Certainly, Tom Brady and now Patrick. Joe's had success against Kansas City. They've won 3 out of 4, but the last one was a big one down there in Kansas City last year. So he wants to win Super Bowls. That's been his goal ever since he won the national championship at LSU. Contract negotiations are always a big part of camp, and you say he's competitive. Yes, for sure. That's why he was out there at camp. Some people do hold out, and it is a business. But Joe wanted to be there, competing and practicing and being with his teammates, and it's an ongoing negotiation. Everybody's optimistic that it's going to get done.
I think one of the best offseason signings for any team was Orlando Brown, Coach. I think it's the commitment they've made to protecting him it's evident now.
Well, the big left tackles in the NFL are worth their weight in gold, and he's a large man. He's been a Pro Bowl player. He's won Super Bowls, and when they come from Joe's right side or any quarterback's right side. You can see that, you can feel it a lot quicker than your backside. So that's why those guys on the left side get paid so much money. But we feel good about the offensive line. It's got some experience coming back, and adding Orlando, moving Jonah to the right side. Lyle is I talked to him yesterday. He's getting better and not practicing yet, but he looked good. So we got depth, maybe more so than we've had in the past at the offensive line.
Yeah, it seems like the expectation around Cincinnati now is a playoff team after what Joe and the crew has accomplished here over the last 4 years. Coach, we've seen reports that he will be involved. We've seen reports he won't be involved. I don't know if you know anything about the Netflix quarterback series. Have they pinned him down? It doesn't seem like him, but it would be awesome if it is.
No, I was surprised to read all that. My understanding is that he will not be, but that's between Joe and his marketing team, WME. But he's not. He hasn't told me that he's going to be a part of that Netflix. So until I hear it from him, then that's what I'll leave it at.
How much does the communication fall off in season? How much do you talk to him out of season to comparison to in season?
Well, I call it the Joe no contact with mom and dad during camp and very little during the season. So we really when he had the calf injury, I mean, first time we heard about it was on the internet. So I learned things from the internet just like everybody else. But he's one track mind, and practice started, and we know not to really bother him. Occasionally we get excited when he returns a text, and especially a phone call. So that's Joe, and that's when he's so dialed in. Now he's dialed in on rehab and treatment and getting better. I mean, he knew we were at practice yesterday, but he was a no-show out there, so he didn't come see mom and dad, but we kind of expected that.
Red non-contact jerseys for the parents throughout the entire season.
Yes, that's for sure.
It's school time. I'd imagine that Miss Robin getting back to school here. With school getting back into session.
Jordy, the good news that I'll share with you is that she resigned and is no longer a principal. She's now working pretty much full time for the Joe Burrow Foundation, and Amy Floyd is our executive director in Cincinnati, and there's a lot going on. I mean, we had so many grant applications, and Robin, we had kind of planned that several months back. So no more being there for a school bus arrival and leaving when the school bus is all put the kids out to their homes. She's going to miss the kids, but grinding away and driving out of here about 6 o'clock every morning for a 30-minute ride, trying to get her back on Mondays after a Sunday game. we don't have to do that anymore. And she's needed in that foundation, and she's loving doing that.
That is great news. Please tell her hello and congratulations on that. It's hashtag JBF Dine for 9. You can find it all over social media, and this is coming up on September 9th. The Joe Burrow Foundation is asking restaurants to join us for the JBF Dine for 9 campaign. Patrons can visit participating restaurants in Athens, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and down here in Baton Rouge, where you can donate. They will be donating 9% of their profits back to the foundation. If you can't make it out to one of the restaurants, it's easy. All you got to do is visit joeburrow.org. You can sign up there or on social media. You can donate your $9 in Joe's honor, and it's always going to a great cause. Coach, it's great to see you, man. I can't wait to watch number 9 in action this season, and we'll be checking back in. Tell Miss Robin hello.
I will. I'm going to come down to the one of the LSU games. Not sure which one, but maybe I'll hook up with it.
Please do. Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Right. Go Bengals and go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There he is. The man with the golden seed, Coach Jimmy Burrow, representing the Joe Burrow Foundation. Online, joeburrow.org, joeburrow.org to learn more as Baton Rouge. It's great to be a part of Burrow's story, obviously, and be a part of that. I tell him that every time I see him.
I'm watching him trying to get out the video.
Is he still laughing?
He was still laughing.
I'm sure he is.
Glasses on.
With full dad mode.
I think we started telling him that at the SEC championship in Atlanta in 19. We ended up, me and T-Bob ended up getting. I don't really drink.
Yeah.
6 shots later, that's what I was saying. I don't really drink.
This is
unbelievable.
Shot for every touchdown pass.
The Robin thing had just happened on the radio.
The G-string?
The G-string.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, right. She went to principal mode.
Yeah. Culotta in the office.
Very quick. I sat up straight.
No. The voice was very principal. She went stern.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
T-Bob was like,
oh shit, you're in trouble, dude.
But we were messing with it like, geez, man, guys throwing darts.
Congratulations,
Jimmy Burrow, absolutely.
This is awesome.
You could kind of feel it then. Like your son in about a decade is probably going to be in the discussion of one of the most popular athletes in the world, right? I think that's where Joe's trending.
Oh yeah,
I think he wins. I think he wins a couple of rings, right? Without one in year 4, I'd say over under 3 on Burrow.
Yeah,
2.5. 2.5.
I hope he just gets one because he gives me the
Me too. I feel like if he kicks the door in, he
because he opened up the floodgates. And
you get one.
Him being, it's just the AFC is so tough. You look around. We were talking a little bit with Fletcher Mackel yesterday on Mic'd Up, and you look around the NFC, and the Saints have a chance to make a run because there's just nobody in the division. You worry about. The Saints are the odds-on favorite to win it. They weren't very good last year. You bring in a quarterback, and you saw the way that they played the first preseason game. But I say that to say the AFC is stacked. Yeah. Like if Joe Burrow was in the NFC, you'd pretty much pencil him in of being at least an NFC Championship game. But he has to go through Josh Allen. He has to go through Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's in the AFC.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's there. That's why I love Derek Carr.
Yeah, he might be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFC.
And if they can play like they did on the opening drive, I'm not here to, you don't
want to put too much stock
inhale all of the preseason. But, it was a hell of a hit.
6 for 8 with a tutty. And get him out of there.
Spreading the ball around. 2 touches for Jawan Johnson. 2 touches for Kamara. Mike Thomas. Kirkwood caps it off.
Olave.
Shoot me up with that.
Yeah, that was efficient.
That felt like 2013.
Mm-hmm. Just marched down the 6 for 8. Like I said, 6 for 8 for 70 yards.
Is that Colston and Devery out there?
Jimmy Graham?
Is that Reggie Bush?
It looked good.
It looked great.
I get the same feeling for Joe Burrow that the LSU baseball head coach Jay Johnson gives me of how badly they want to win. Where you almost feel nervous.
If it's win.
Yeah, but you feel nervous for them because they care so much. To where it's like, oh God, please just let him get one so he can sleep at night. Because if Joe keeps knocking on that door, he might kill himself if he doesn't get one soon. You just get that feeling.
That's what makes the great ones great.
Yes.
Right? they obsess.
Insatiable.
It doesn't matter how much money you pay him. That's what I love about Mahomes. Jordan and I were watching the game on Sunday. He was like, what is Mahomes? Why is he here? I said, Andy Reid probably had to negotiate with him last night. Look, I'm just going to play you the first series, and that's it. I just want to play. I want to play. He's like, dude, get out of here.
You got 2 Super Bowls, Patrick.
And we need you. We don't need you today.
Exactly. If I am Lamar Hunt, if I am an investor in the Chiefs, if I am is it Matt Nagy? Is he back?
Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator.
He's now the offensive coordinator back in I'm like, Andy, this is a terrible idea.
He has to. He does it every year, though. He plays.
I know he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just.
Well, you saw a lot
the
of
fall off of preseason football to the regulars. It shows you
how they're the best.
Good they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's really why minor league football will never make it. Mm-hmm. Because you'll never grip me on a spring Saturday afternoon to watch C and D level players. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but just the difference of the A and B guys between the C and D guys is the SEC between the Mountain West. It really is. I mean, think about the college football games you watch. I mean, for as much as we starve and are just sensational about, addicts for football, think about the games you don't watch. Think about the games like on a Sunday afternoon that's got, like Green Bay, who looks like the training wheels are still on Jordan Love, who look like they've lost, all of, kind of the grip to watch, like them and the Falcons. You going to be watching that game? Like, for as much as you're starving for football here on August 15th, and I am too, if it was on, I'd probably, I got stuff to do. I ain't standing around and watching this.
Not going.
Desmond Ridder.
He's our starter.
I know. That's why I'm not watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I watched Jordan Love last week. They're still babysitting him. If you're 4 years into the league and you're still wearing, you still got the training wheels on the bike, they're looking for your replacement.
This is his year.
If they're running that offense, they're going to win 5 games.
Well,
this
is somebody that they picked to, and essentially the pick fractured their relationship with Rodgers to the point where he wanted to leave. So you put more than just investing a first-round pick into Jordan Love. You essentially
you ran off your best player of the last 20 years.
Yes.
Was
it worth it?
Rodgers asked for receivers.
Well, I get where the last 3 years of Aaron Rodgers' soap opera was probably a little exhausting if you're in the front office of Green Bay. Like, every year we gotta date this guy every year? We marry him every offseason with the contract. Is he not happy again?
Yeah, but he doesn't get to see the kids. Or, that's all he wanted. He just wanted a little time, but let me pick my friends.
Or if he's bringing back Randall Cobb and he's bringing back, it's like, Aaron, you just go get yourself ready to play quarterback. Do what you ever got to do. Go sit in darkness and trip on mushrooms. But we're gonna make
when the season starts.
We're evaluating the players. This is what we want to do. And if you keep doing this, we're gonna have to look for a quarterback at some point because we're losing trust in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't know if you're gonna come back or not.
Right.
But in the same vein, look how happy he is in New York because he has autonomy. That's all he wanted. Obviously, he's a headache. You saw what he was doing in Green Bay. He's a diva. As much as he doesn't want to be one, he can't help himself. But it feels like he is so much happier in New York just because of all the drama around Green Bay is gone. And he's like, all right, good luck with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Okay, that was y'all's pick.
I've been watching him practice for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm not
this
nervous.
Guy's terrible.
And there's some things that they're positive about with him, but it just, like I said, you look at the NFC, that's the quarterback that you're worried about if you're the Saints. Last year you were looking across at Aaron Rodgers. Now it's Jordan Love and Desmond Ridder, and you just look across the
Russell
NFC.
Wilson.
Wolf. Sean Payton knows.
That's why Sean Payton was out there. That's why he's pissed. He's playing the guy 4 series in the preseason. The best play he made was the last one of the day. Was a 4th down crossing route to Jerry Jeudy that he hit him on. Was the last play of the day. Russell Wilson celebrates like they just got into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can do it.
The first preseason game, he's out there for 4 series. Peyton's out there barking, chewing ass. Getting after him.
Was it the Cardinals that released that?
Yes. Yes. The lady on the plane with Russell Wilson doing side squats.
I don't think that was that was a shot at last season whenever they went to, what was that, Germany? And he
exercised on the plane.
Yeah, he exercised the whole time on the plane.
If he does that shit with Sean Payton, he's going to be like,
leave
him in Germany.
Yeah, right. No, you're done.
I don't want to see that, Russell.
We got a parachute on here?
This is the issue.
Yes.
I think that's what Payton was doing, in the public. He was like, who let this guy get away with this stuff? I mean, it's the same general manager that signed Nathaniel Hackett and same guy that signed Russell Wilson still walking around the building. That guy probably hides under his desk.
Always just on the golf course.
I mean, Peyton's got a contract that they can't get out of for the next 7 years. Guy's got more power than anybody in the league. I mean, like, meanwhile, Peyton's holding press conferences blaming Nathaniel Hackett for everything. Now I see why. I mean, it's going to be a long season in Denver.
And Rodgers loves Hackett because he gets to do whatever he wants. He's drawing up plays in the dirt. He's like,
Right.
They were talking about that a little bit when they, like, with the Green Bay situation. That's why they like the Jordan Love scenario, because LaFleur can finally run his offense. He's like, Rodgers was changing every play I called.
No doubt.
Now he's got Jordan Love where he can kind of put his thumb on him.
Right.
And if you're Sean Payton and you're like, I have Russell Wilson, that's who needs to get together. As Rodgers and Sean Payton would be a great combination. But as much as they don't like each other now because he talked about Hackett. Yeah, they would love each other.
They would love each other.
But that's why that's why Aaron Rodgers loves Hackett, because they're boys, first of all, and he lets him do whatever he wants. He's like, I'm not really very good at this.
Right.
You cover
you're
up
a
all
lot
my
better
mistakes
at your job
than I am at
mine.
But we're great together.
But you've gotten me a lot of money.
You got me a head coaching job.
Absolutely. So I'm going to allow you to do what you want, but, hear me out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Take
what do you
my
think?
advice.
What you think?
Yeah. Nathaniel, I got it.
Yeah. That's cute.
I got you.
We'll stick to our.
Yeah,
we'll stick to the plan.
Well, he did it to McCarthy too. Like when he talks about the throw against. Well, God, it was forever ago. But whenever he played for the Packers and they beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, like that last second throw that he hit Bennett on the sideline, he's like, I drew that play up in the dirt, and it McCarthy's like, why do you have to say that? Because he wants the credit. Yeah.
Right.
And so Rodgers is going to do
hated
Rodgers.
McCarthy.
Hated him.
He hated him.
Still
despised
hates
him.
Still hates him.
Yeah. Which it looks like they're ruining Dak.
I mean,
McCarthy's a bad coach.
Dak's about to be out of the league. I mean, did you see those picks he threw at training camp last week?
It's like he's just throwing it to.
He's just throwing it up in the air.
Like,
do you think Diggs is a receiver still?
CD's down there somewhere. Coach.
God. Yeah, that feels like that's a failed experiment.
That's going to be
Dallas is just a failed experiment.
Bad deal.
I feel so bad for CD because he's so good.
He is good.
And it's like I'll never win with this.
Dak's broken.
Everybody thinks
they're about to really snap him. I mean, like Mike McCarthy's got him over his knee right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to snap him in half. He's about to ruin his confidence because, like, first off, McCarthy's got no business calling plays anymore. I mean, like, he's got no business doing this. They've ran off a legitimate offensive coordinator who's now at San Diego with Kellen Moore. I mean, you don't get picked up that fast in the league. Look how guys sit on the sidelines and get cut from staffs. Guys that get scooped up in 10 minutes, people know something.
That may have made a mistake.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh my God, Kellen Moore's available.
Yeah, Shanahan
like,
was
fire that guy, hire him.
Yeah, here's our offensive coordinator.
Like,
it's Kellen Moore now.
Come over.
Absolutely, you got it. You here, full autonomy, dude. I mean, run it.
Oh, they were talking about him being a head coach.
Absolutely.
And then they get rid of him. And McCarthy, for what it's worth, whenever he took his hiatus and he went the Gruden route where he did like the Fired Football Coaches Association and like watched film all the time allegedly.
It looks fake.
Yeah, they said he was.
Mean, like,
he had his old play sheet out and he would just watch games and he would put smiley faces next to plays that he liked. And they're like, Jerry Jones like, this is the guy I gotta have.
I got a guy.
He's been working.
I can steer this guy.
Just little stickers on his coaching pad.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers was like ratting him out on like getting massages in the middle of the day and stuff. Like, I mean, like he was out for him.
Oh, he's like, this dude's not
He
dedicated
don't work.
to football. Like,
Yeah, he's like, you don't work.
This.
I mean, he gets massages like in like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Should go be the coordinator for the Browns.
Right.
Go work with Deshaun.
Link up with Deshaun.
Yeah, this is our coaches meeting.
Remember our friends over at Go Roof. Roof's up. A new roof every single time. Count on Go Roof for a roof repair, roof installation, or roof maintenance. Go Roof has been providing roofing services to residential and commercial customers in South Louisiana since 2005. Whether you need a new roof installed, if you need your roof repaired, that is an existing roof, or you can rely on the locally owned and operated business over at Go Roof to get over to you and help you out today. Their phone number is simple. Type this into your contact list so you have this. Next time rainstorm comes through, next time hail comes through, next time you feel like you need to get somebody up on the roof and give you a free consultation, call our friends over at Go Roof, 225-927-8300. 225-927-8300. That's a free quote, free roof inspection. They'll jump up on the roof today. GEAUX LSURoof.com. Free quotes available, over 15 years of experience, free and quick roof inspections, like we said, licensed and insured. Make sure you don't sign anything or agree to anything without the roofer coming and giving you a quote on site. You get a 2-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations. Look, this is Go Roof, GEAUXroof.com. You can request a quote right there online at GEAUXroof.com. Online, you can request a quote, or you can call them today, 225-927-8300, 225-927-8300. All right, quick move in first hour as we had both Coach Jimmy Burrow in, and we talked to Billy Embody. Embody was recapping what was going on in recruiting over the latest couple of days here as LSU was able to pick up a commitment from Jacobian Moore as Billy talked about that. Also, 5-star Wardell Mack from down in New Orleans pledged to Florida over the last couple of days. Embody gave his reaction there too. Kobe Black is a name that keeps popping up on LSU. We'll see. Embody says, well, go check it out if you missed it. Come back with us. Hour 2, as always, we're built by RMB Builders. Come back and check us out. Hour 2. We'll get back more into the LSU football discussion and the latest on what's going on with the Tigers as they get ready for Florida State coming up here on Labor Day weekend. Come back with us. Jordy Culotta Show, built by RMB.
Go Dak.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Kyron Lacy, Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team, make a difference. Bet, let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Branding at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardow's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Is it time to wash your house or business? Call the pros at Hydro Wash today. Get them out with their low-pressure, soft-washing cleaning approach. From commercial buildings, rooftops, and residentials, Hydro Wash is ready to get your place shining. Find them on Facebook or call Curtis at 225-933-7068. Take it from me, Hydro Wash came by and made my house look like new. What was best was the professionalism. They picked up everything, made the clean, and then put everything back to where it belonged. Get in touch with Curtis today. Call him at 225-933-7068 or find Hydro Wash on Facebook.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, roof up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on. Did you do it? Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, go roof.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Jordy Culotta Show. R&B Builders, get off of the train now. Get off the train. Get off the train. Everybody's on my Savion Jones take.
There's no room.
Just because I was 3-4 years ahead of everybody.
It's early on it.
I was early.
Buy the stock.
I was early. You know what I loved about Savion Jones, though? I'm telling you, I remember watching him play one time his senior year, and he just, to me, is Louisiana football. Like, he is as Louisiana. He is rugged. He's nasty. He's mean. I mean, he's fast. He's just this dude that when you see him, you're like, you got to have him on the team. Like,
what's number 35's
I want
name?
2 of him actually, if we can do that. And I think that like Keelan Moses is like kind of like one click, like, you know, kind of a bigger type body than same type of player. I mean, like Jones was like that. The way he could move, the way he ran. And, I mean, when he was dominating high school football, he dominated high school football.
Yeah.
Dominated it. I mean, like, unblockable type stuff.
Like, if I want 3 sacks today, I'm going to get 3 sacks
Get it.
today.
Get it. I mean, put him over the nose. They put him on each edge. I mean, like, it was like they knew that, like U-High uses Keelan Moses. Like, third and short, toss it to him.
I had an algebra test this morning. I got to block Savion
That
Jones.
sounds awful.
Right.
And
that's a long Friday, Coach.
Yeah.
Like you watch film all week and you're the left tackle, and I get to Friday, and it's Friday morning knowing that night I'm going to St. James. They're going to be blasting that train horn. They're going to be there at 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can smell the food as soon as you get off the bus. They're going to be letting me – and then I got to block Savion Jones for 3 hours.
I actually got to see Savion Jones play once. Played against Patterson. And their left tackle was going to – I think he plays at Southeastern now. And he gave him hell. Like, they didn't have nobody that could block him. They were sending running back, tight end.
Chipping him.
With
Jump
the
on
tight
his
end,
back.
Everything. And it don't matter. We drop back 35s in the backfield already, Coach. Like –
I mean, he had the luxury of going to LSU and sitting behind pros, right? And really compliments to Savion Jones for sticking around, because in a lot of instances, as this is, like really and truly, I hope that Quincy looks at Savion Jones and uses him as the model, right? Because Quincy is probably going to be good enough to play a lot this year. But he may not be able to get on the field a ton just because of how much talent is in those spots. Whether it's Savion Jones or Deshaun Womack or whoever it is, I mean, he's probably an every down or at least a majority of the game type player at this point, but it's just you're in a crowded room and your time is coming, right? And his time probably is – when we look back on Quincy in 5 years and you look back at his LSU time, you'll probably say his third year he was just ready for it, right? Like you'll see signs this year. You'll see flashes this year. But I expect if he can look at Savion and say, man, there's a guy that really stuck around, went through hard times, went through days when he didn't play. You got to imagine, man, I mean, a guy like Savion Jones, the last time he sat the bench was when? Never? I mean, when's the last time he showed up to a football field and the coach said, hey, man, hang back? I mean, maybe when he was in 9th grade playing on the varsity, maybe. But to have that happen to you for the first time in your life, man, that's, it's humbling. It's confidence rattling. It's just a new mindset. It's a new approach. It's a new way of, kind of grinding. A lot of these guys, when they're talking about grinding in high school and, putting in the work and outworking everybody, they're working from the top. Everybody's chasing them. Right? When you get back down to the bottom and you got to start climbing a whole new mountain that looks, damn, this thing is steep. Yeah, get to hiking, bro. And now Savion has gotten to a point where you're like, holy cow, I'm up here now. It's my time. Hopefully, I think, Quincy can look at somebody like that that's stuck around, paid dues, put his time in, and now going to get all the fruits of that. And, that's where I believe, that's where I believe that, you can start developing these positions, such critical positions of like defensive, where you can start turning them over. Let's just say my proclamation of Savion comes true and he's a first-round pick. And then you fill him in with a third-year Quincy Wiggins, who's now developed. He's been inside of a college system for going into his third year. He's been in a nutrition system. He's been in the weight room. Quincy right now looks like a power forward. He looks like a just NBA's dream. Just you go watch him play football, and he's just lean. He's long. He's still, he's all cut up and jacked. But
Good Lord. I'm looking at his Instagram right now. Yeah, and that's what's crazy about OSU.
Think about him in 3 months.
He hasn't played a lot of football.
They had to transform him.
Yes.
Not only did you have to transform him from physically, mentally, he's a basketball player. You know what I mean? That's what he's been his whole life. He didn't start playing football until he was 16. And he just, he puts on a helmet and shoulder pads and goes out there and just starts throwing people around naturally, but has no idea
what he's doing,
what a 3-point stance is. He's got no idea how to, get off the ball. He's got, just the natural stuff. And Madison Prep did an incredible job of catching him up so they could use him every Friday night. But it's not their fault that he just is years behind Deshaun Womack. Womack's been playing football since he's been 6. Right? He's been beating double teams since he was 12.
They knew what position he was.
Right. You knew who Deshaun Womack was when he was 14 years old. Everybody knew who he was. When Quincy was 14, Will Wade was trying to get after him. Really. That's who he was. Ogeron and Saban didn't start barking around until he was 17 years old. They were like, oh, my God.
It's a project, though.
And then you get him on campus, and you're like, all right, man, look, this is how you put your pads on. This is the simple stuff. By the time you start, crawl, walk, running, you're gonna be a dog.
And a year went by.
Right. Same thing that's happened to Savion Jones. I
That's
think
the test case.
A lot of people looked at Savion Jones when he showed up and was like, good Lord. What a piece of canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go make some art with this football player, because he's got every single tool, everything that you need to become successful. Quincy's the same way. If you can build this pipeline where you start bringing in high-end players like Deshaun Womack, B.J. Ojulari, who can step in as true freshmen and play, then you got yourself a 3-year starter, which you've done at multiple positions now with this recruiting class of the last 2 years. Emory Jones and Will Campbell and, Harold Perkins and, even
Deshaun Womack. Jackson Howard.
But I just, their pipeline, I don't even know how I got going on this, but was I guess it was Savion. It's just, Wiggins is going to flash this year, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to make plays where you're going to be like, oh, my God, how do you keep 93 off the field? And you're saying, well, you got to keep 93 off the field because you got to play 35. You got to play 17, right? You don't keep them out there all the time, but, you got Quincy coming in and spelling them. And then next season, Quincy he's on the cover of magazines. He's what LSU, he's probably going to media day. I don't know if he's going to media day after what he did to us on the podcast.
Yeah, he doesn't do too much media.
He just got a new tattoo. That's what he was thinking about.
Just go ball, bro.
Yeah,
Just
play football.
You want to see my new tat?
Just go ball, man. All right, remember, Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant, our friends down in New Orleans, Katie's. Katie's been around since 84. You can find them katie'sinmidcity.com. katie'sinmidcity.com. They're in Mid-City, New Orleans on Iberville Street. Been around, like I said, since 84. Got all the fan favorites, all the NOLA favorites on the menu. They also have St. Louis-style pizza. They got cold beer over at Katie's that you can find. Don't forget about their sister restaurant, Francesca's. Francesca's is located down in Lakeview. It's a sandwich deli that you can also learn about online at Katie's in Mid-City. Katie'sInMidCity.com. They can cater, and they've got new Sunday hours for you as well. They have embraced football season here. They got 5 new televisions down at Katie's, and they have new Sunday hours, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Pre-game crowd and the post-game crowd for you. Or if you just want to nestle up and watch the game over at Katie's, it'll be a great spot for you. So check them out. Katie'sInMidCity.com. Katie'sInMidCity.com is where you can find them online.
Get Quincy Wiggins and Walter Nolan to SEC Media Days next year.
Oh, that'd be great.
What a dream.
Dream interview?
Dream
What a
duo.
dream.
Tandem.
Wow.
Just
Who can provide more one-word answers?
Walter,
Ready, go.
Walter, I'm getting more from the radio than I'm getting from you right now, buddy. Thank you, though. All right. I can hear your blinker. You must be at school.
Biggie.
Do you like football?
That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G.
Just in the background.
Stewie, did you go to practice yesterday?
Yes, I did.
What'd
go
you
to
see?
practice yesterday.
Besides no Denver Harris.
Yeah. Oh, Denver Harris wasn't there.
Was Greg Brooks practicing?
Greg Brooks is not practicing.
It's a vertigo.
Yeah, he's dealing with vertigo,
Which is crazy.
Which is really crazy at his age,
Especially as a football player.
I know.
It's got to be weird as a
Oh,
football
yeah.
player.
Well, what's going to be weird is, like, it can just pop up at any time, right? And
Yeah.
imagine being night game Death Valley that starts shaking with
Yeah.
100,000 strong,
That's-
and you're going, oh, shit, I think I'm getting a spell.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that last night. It's like, what if that does happen during a game? Like, what are they gonna do? I mean, I guess they have people like that's why they're cross training Sage Ryan at corner, putting Andre Sam at safety, putting Deuce Chestnut at safety sometimes. But yesterday was kind of like a vanilla day almost. Like they've shown us a lot in these practices. So yesterday was kind of like they did like a quick, like a hurry up type 11-on-11 setting. Deuce Chestnut had some nice pass breakups. Ashton Stamp's still flashing every time. That's really it. There wasn't really too much going on. Caleb Jackson still, every time I see him, like that's what a running back looks like. That's what an LSU running back looks like.
Yeah.
Great ass too.
Yeah. All ass team.
All ass team.
Ali Broussard.
He might be the 1 seed now. Like,
wow.
Jared Jones, Dylan Cruz move over.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They had the big room.
Like, that thing is
Banging.
It's heavy, coach.
He's he's what we talked about. I mean, he's a project.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
You can tell he's still raw.
when I was out there on Saturday, he fumbled. He actually kind of like fumbled in the open field. He fumbled off of a cut. You know, I mean, he made the right cut, but then he fumbled. And you know, I mean, you got 8 backs in a room that'll keep you off the field.
Just saw that green grass.
John Emery had a touchdown like towards the end when they were like kicking us out of practice, but they would throw him a wheel route. All that kid wants to do is score.
Mhm.
Like
absolutely.
That's that play from last year.
Right.
If John Emery's in, just watch for the wheel. I mean, if you're a defensive coordinator, like that, he's gonna run a wheel and he's gonna high step on you, and you're gonna be looking at number 4.
He's gonna shake you out of your cleats. And he's gonna high step you all the way into Sports Center's top 10.
And all you're gonna be looking at is Emery Jr.
Heads up. Make sure and break down.
When did they scrimmage?
Saturdays, huh?
Yeah, but you could tell like they want to get the running backs involved in the passing game. Like they send them out pretty much every play, and like all of them are involved. But Trey Bradford is the one. Like Trey Bradford is the one that they're
Home
like,
run hitter.
going to every time, first team reps. Like, so I always see 32. He just looks so much different than what he did the first time he was here. It's
What
just-
number was he the first time?
I think he was number 8.
He was number 8.
Yeah, and then now he's 32. He
Gosh.
just looks so much
It's like
thicker.
a witness protection program. Like if you didn't know who Trey Bradford was, and he just stepped on campus, you'd be like, who? Redshirt sophomore? He's been here 4 times.
That's amazing. Like, is there any other cases like that in college football?
John Emery.
Yeah, but
He's
John
never
didn't
left.
leave and come back.
I know, but I'm just saying they're both the ones.
I mean,
like,
Emery's
2 of the
definitely,
wildest.
Emery's definitely a case study for sure.
Yeah, but like they let him leave. Like they let him go to a whole other university.
Did he start? He started at Oklahoma, right?
No, he started at LSU.
He started at LSU?
Started at LSU, left LSU, went to Oklahoma.
See, I thought he went to Oklahoma twice.
No, he went to LSU twice. He's been to LSU. Well, this is his 3rd time at LSU. This is such a strange thing. But somebody in the chat asked, what did Jaden Daniels look like? Andrew Messina. Jaden Daniels looks great. Like, the quarterbacks look great. The quarterbacks are not – the offense is well ahead of the defense at this point in camp.
Sure.
And it's almost over, but still, like, I mean, I just think this offense is just good. I don't think the defense is bad, so to speak. I just think the offense is just that much better than them.
I mean,
average 34 points a game.
Without setting the bar like enormously high, how can't they be good?
Yeah, I mean they average 34 points a game.
They've got weapons everywhere. I mean, like I really am trying to think of the last time LSU had this many. Now they've had high-end, game-breaking guys and multiple on the same team, right? Like I get that. I'm not trying to play prisoner of the moment. I'm just saying. You rattle off the names. Like you leave Chris Hilton out sometimes. You leave Kyron Lacey out. You leave John Emery out. You leave Mason Taylor out. You know, I mean, you leave guys that we're not even talking about like Jackson McGowan and Kamorian Pipton and, you know, I mean, other guys that just are Mac Markway who are going to be involved as other options behind guys like Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Aaron Anderson. It's embarrassing how many names they have.
They're too deep at almost every position.
Yeah, the too deep.
Offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, running back. You can kind of rattle off almost. I mean, obviously LSU has 8 running backs, but you still feel comfortable naming 4 that are going to play. You go look at the wide receiver room, you can go down the list and be like, there's only one ball. And then you don't even talk about really the maturation of Jaden Daniels. Like he's going to be better than he was last year. It's just how things go.
I'm just
second year in the system.
Whit Weeks had a nice like breakup in the middle of the field against the first team.
He's going to have to play.
Yeah, like he is. I kind of feel bad for Wes Weeks.
Yeah, me too.
Because like the little brother is so much better.
The older
Usually
brother,
how it works.
Golly,
it's okay. Yeah. He should be proud of that. He helped that.
Yeah,
right.
He helped that.
From a mentality standpoint.
Yeah, but you could.
I guess you could be proud of that. If I was the older brother, and my younger brother was a dog, and I was a scrub.
I wouldn't say.
I don't.
Hypothetical.
I don't mean it like
that,
West and Witt. You know what I mean? Because I know West can play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They both can play, but like I just
2.0.
Witt is the better one.
Yeah, and it's very obvious. I mean, like he jumps. He jumps off
every time he's on the field.
Yeah, and Shade's been all over him.
Like the hands are great. Eyes are always in the right place.
Athlete.
Great
Played running back.
Athlete.
In
I mean,
high
that
school.
play he made in the spring game
popped.
Oh, the pick six?
Yes. And then he makes the move in the open field.
He's just a stud, coach.
He'll be good. He'll get time too. Like you'll see him out there. I'm excited for Omar Speights as well.
Yeah.
I think if he's good.
I love the linebackers. They just have to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the only place they're
to
thin.
stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like you got to stay more healthy there than any position on the field.
Because you don't want to be down to Christian Braithwaite.
No.
No,
you'll have to move. You'll have to move somebody.
Yeah.
I think you would like put like
Sage.
Major Burns.
Yeah. Sage probably too.
Yeah. I mean,
Sage, go fix it.
Yeah. Sage is
Just to do it all.
Yeah, he's the plug and play guy.
Put Jacoby Stevens back in pads. Nobody would notice.
he looks great out there.
He does.
Just flying around in coach's gear.
What's the helmet so bad?
I mean, does he?
Talks so much.
You know, he
shit.
talks to you after every rep. Ashton Stamps
And Deuce Chestnut. They like he kind of like because yesterday Deuce was trying to fight through it like the heat. The heat is
still he's still battling.
How can it not?
Coach, the heat was like beating him up yesterday.
It's a sauna.
He had to throw up mid play. Like
wow.
they were doing the 11-on-11 hurry up, and like it's getting to the end. Like they're in the red zone. They're like, Deuce, you gotta fight through, and he's just on the field just like trying to throw up, and then he finally throws up, and it's the last play, and like, bro, it's the last play. Like just gut this one out, and he's like,
oh god,
like.
He loves it.
Yeah, you could tell like he's gonna fight for it. Like he ain't backing down from no type of fights.
Well, and if you think about where he's coming from, Syracuse, they played inside. Yeah. They practiced inside, and then this is a total 180.
He's probably thinking he's in like some type of torture chamber.
This is hell.
Like this is
where
hell.
am I?
This is hell on earth.
Nobody wanted to tell me it was hot
is
as fuck
this the
here.
legitimate Death Valley?
like
I mean, like
the
real
desert.
thing. Like I mean, is this? Am I gonna die? I mean, could you imagine walking into this heat, never experiencing it, and asking like, "Hey, put this football helmet on for the next 2 hours."
And shoulder pads.
Well, we got the air conditioner in the helmet now.
Does everybody have the AC in the
Well,
helmet?
Deuce needs one.
I
If we only got a couple,
I really don't even know.
Anybody above like Tennessee.
Yeah.
If you're on LSU's roster,
you
like
should have it.
I mean,
give me.
Here's
that,
a state-of-the-art air-conditioned helmet.
Like
this ain't helping me at all.
But he fights through the heat. Like I mean, you could tell like he wants it. Like it ain't.
Oh, he would have left by now.
Right. This is like
'Cause
this
it's
is
real.
where I Stop. Like this. I'm trying to go to the league.
So the Sage Ryan cornerback take's not as dumb when Greg Brooks backs us up, right? I mean, like I was getting
coming after you.
char grilled in the
half shell.
chat yesterday off of giving an idea that Sage Ryan would be playing cornerback, and I mean just the flood of messages calling me a moron and an idiot for thinking that was being lobbed at me, and I'm not here to play take scoreboard because just not what I want to do.
Colin Simmons online too.
But it was exactly. But it was, like to hear Greg Brooks say Sage Ryan's getting some run at cornerback. I'm telling you that this is real. I mean, when you got stuff that's happening like the Denver Harris situation, which we touched on a little earlier, and it's nothing different than when we talked on, Harris over the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've been trying to tell you that they're trying to send a message to Harris, and he has not gotten the message up until what I has been told yesterday. I was told that yesterday the message was received and that Harris has been, kind of scared inside out almost, like it's now or never, man. I mean, you're potentially the starting cornerback on the top 5 team in the country. Do you want it or not? Because if you want it, you got to show up on time to eat. And if you don't like the time and you want to show up 1 minute late, well, you're not going to make it. I mean, it's really adapt or die. And that's for everybody. And that's what you love about Brian Kelly's organization is that, look, you're not making any type of special rules or special, compliance for anybody, right? It's a team, it's a method, it's a strategy. You either buy in or you don't. It's quite simple. And, for certain players, the rope may be a little bit longer of the buy-in, but ultimately everybody's got a drop-dead date where if you don't buy in, you're out. And it doesn't matter if you're a midseason All-American or somebody that, you try to work an NIL deal to sign. It doesn't matter. When it comes down to the football aspects of the organization, if you're not bought into what and how it's going to be run, there's no spot. There's nothing that is going to change that. And that's the message. And either accept it or don't. But one thing that can help you out in making those decisions is when you have people like Sage Ryan and like Ashton Stamps and guys like Deuce Chestnut that you can look at and say, hey, you're up. And they give you everything you got and you figure out, hell, they can play. And that's what the beautiful thing about competition is that competition squeezes out accountability. Everybody can talk. Everybody can tell you what they're going to do. Everybody can tell you what happened and why they didn't do it. But when it comes down to it and it's time to compete, the cream will rise to the top. And from Brian Kelly's standards, if you're not bought in off the field, well, it doesn't make a lot of difference what you do on the field. There's always kind of been a compromise to that. Where there's principles, there's strategy, there's buy-in that has to take place off the field. But if you were a high-end player, you didn't have to follow all the rules, right? I was told Les Miles lost the locker room. Lost the locker room.
Like he couldn't find it?
No, this is when he lost the locker room. Is when they had a strict dress code to travel. That under Miles, you traveled under coat and tie. And he let Fournette get away with traveling in jeans.
Lenny.
Simple little just stretch of the rule. You do it for your best player, but your best player's sitting in the back of the plane where everybody sees him walk down the aisle wearing jeans. So when Lenny starts wearing jeans, well, then Jamal Adams is going to wear jeans. And you're going to tell Jamal Adams he can't wear jeans?
No.
And as soon as you tell Jamal Adams he can't wear jeans, he's coming over the desk, getting in your face and saying, then why can Leonard?
Teddy Bucks.
And next thing you know, you got a mutiny. You got nobody who respects anybody. You got nobody who can hold anybody accountable. You got people that love the buy-in of when it's going good, but as soon as it veers off and goes a little bit wrong, next thing you know, the floodgates are opened. And that's where Brian Kelly is, and that's what we're getting a clear example of. Adapt or die. It's that simple.
What do you expect to hear Wednesday from BK?
Truth. Honestly.
I know how deep is this cut going to be?
From what I have been told and what I understand, Brian Kelly loves Denver Harris.
I was about to say, I bet he actually likes him.
If you watch the way he coaches him, I think it's easy to tell that he likes him.
And he knows he's got a little shit with him.
He's pulling for him.
Yeah, Denver.
And Brian Kelly knows when the whole team leaves and when it's just him in his office, he knows they got to have number 10 to be the number 5 team in the country.
I know you're going to make this hard on me.
If they want to be a playoff team and they want to be their best, well, it needs to have Denver Harris on it. They don't have to, and they won't compromise their program for it, but they're really pulling for you. Like, they want you to get it. They want you to understand that 1 minute late to a team meal is 1 minute late. And the one term you can't take out of that is late. And if you're late, these are the repercussions. This is what happens. And until you fall in line and buy into that, you're running with the third team. You're not taking the team picture. And you're just about a strike away from being told to pack your stuff and appreciate what you've given us.
I don't want to do this, Denver.
Right.
But you're making it hard. And Timo Cruz and Coach Carter.
Right.
You know he loves him, but they're going to have to get it together. And I'd imagine there's a backroom conversation that he has with Denver, like, you're pushing my buttons, Denver. You know this. We're cool. But and I would even venture to say if somebody else was a minute late, it wouldn't be this big of a deal. But because it's Denver Harris, he's almost setting the precedent for him.
Well, I mean, Harris has given him enough examples along the way where he's made
the straw that broke the camel's back.
I mean, he's made many of examples.
So do you think it's because I think the way that this is kind of blown up is almost, I don't say Brian Kelly mishandled it. I think he wanted this to play out very publicly by not putting him in the team picture. You know that's going to cause a stir.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't think that this isn't calculated by a coach like BK, but I also don't know if he thought it would be this big of a deal. Like, it feels like it's kind of gotten away from a little bit with everybody talking about it the way that they are. Like, this is LSU peak before the season. You know, there's not a lot to talk about. Well, how long did the entire state of Louisiana and Baton Rouge, namely, talk about the fight? We talked about it for 2 days because you're so close to football, but you don't actually have football. So something like this where, wait, is Denver here? I don't know if Brian Kelly realizes that LSU fans are sick to where they went through the entire team picture of the roster and go, Denver Harris isn't in it. They're looking at that like this closely?
My phone was blowing up.
I looked hard.
That's what I'm saying, but they didn't do that at Notre Dame.
Because I really didn't know. I just knew Denver wasn't at practice. And then my guy, Ron, texted me. And I was like,
he's probably with Denver.
He was like,
Right.
he was like, Denver's not in the team picture. And I was like, let me go look, because I looked at the picture initially and I was like, damn, I don't see Denver. Like, I didn't see him like just looking at the wide picture. And then I started zooming through the picture. I'm like, damn, there's no Denver Harris here.
Is it by numerical order?
No, he's got like his favorite play. He's got the studs around him.
The studs are at the front. You know, Perk's like second row, just chilling.
Hold on, it's Jaden Daniels right next to him. BK, and then Malik. Like, he's got the guys up front. Malik, Josh Williams, he loves him. Jaden Daniels. Big 90 in the front. Savion Jones front row.
Hell yeah.
Mason Taylor.
Everybody jumping on Savion Jones.
Mason Smith, yeah. Too late. Train left the station.
I mean, we've been down the tracks, man.
You're the conductor.
Pulling into the NFL draft.
You might get invited.
I mean, just
green room.
Getting our seats back here at the table. Waiting on his agent. Interviewing agents. Going through the process. Filtering agents. They hadn't even bought in yet.
Ricky Collins rocking 10. That's the wrong 10. Looking for Denver Harrison 10. Not here.
Ricky?
Yeah, Ricky's in 10.
Find you Denver Harrison here. Where's Waldo?
Where's Langston?
Talk to a daddy. He's in the middle right now.
I promised him in recruiting.
Right above 99. Look it up.
Who's
Oh,
81?
I see him top right. That's him, right?
Yeah, Langston Hughes, coach.
No. That's Bryce Langston, right?
Bryce Langston. Yeah, I said
Langston Hughes.
I don't
How you
know
gonna
that
mess
is.
that name up?
That's your guy.
It is my guy.
Top 10 pick.
Favorite player.
Guy didn't have a choice.
Big team guy.
What player to watch out of the recruiting class, Coach? Who was in that recruiting class?
What was that class?
He's a redshirt sophomore, so it was 3 years ago.
So it was a 21 class of 21. It was fucking Mason Smith's class.
Is that like Kayshawn?
Yeah.
Eli Ricks. See Eli Ricks pick 6?
Yeah, I did.
You seen him break on that thing?
He doesn't leave.
That's
LSU.
what he does great.
Yeah, I mean, man-to-man coverage.
He's a first-round pick.
Speaking of, like
he went undrafted.
I want the Saints to start drafting like Philly.
Yeah.
Like,
take the studs.
Just draft the studs at the best schools.
Yeah. Find a team and draft their best players.
Like, go to the team that's, like, dominant and just cherry-pick their players, man. I mean, Philly's defense. I mean,
Philly's
have
gonna
you
be
seen
good
Jalen Carter?
Yeah, and he was a problem.
He is killing people.
First play of the game.
The first snap he took as an Eagle, he shucks the guard. Like, the guard didn't even touch him. He's in the backfield. They are going to be a problem.
Yeah.
They're going to be an issue on defense.
They might go back.
They could.
They probably
They
will.
could. I mean, their defense looks disgusting.
Shout out to Liam Shanahan.
Still doing it.
Still doing it. This is in class. I'm just looking at the class.
Where's he
of
at? Wall
2020.
Street?
Probably TA.
Who?
But Jalen Carter
in that class.
Jalen.
This is class of 2021. So like Malik Neighbors, like Savion Jones,
Coach O went way off the board.
Garrett Dellinger, like Armani Goodwin, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Sage Ryan.
Good Lord.
And the first person he talked about
Every time.
Bryce Langston.
Every time. I mean, like, Coach, what do you think about those defensive line? I tell you what, old Bryce Langston coming along.
Bryce Langston.
Bryce Langston gonna be tough to keep off the field. I remember being like,
Who
is who?
Is this him? This isn't him in 81.
That old Langston boy can play. That's not him?
Who's the other 81? No, there's two of them.
Oh, there's two 81s.
I was gonna say, he did a body transition. Langston will play.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to figure out who the other 81 was. But like nobody.
Was it Kai Preon?
No, Kai Preon's 82.
Man. Lloyd, go look at my desk. There's an LSU roster, please.
Yes.
For God's sakes.
But they don't have it on the roster. Like, they don't have that 81 on the roster. Lord. They only have Bryce Langston as 81 on the roster. Because I asked somebody at practice yesterday because I was like, who's this 81? Because he was running with the receivers. And they're like, 81's Bryce Langston. I was like, 81 right here in white is not Bryce Langston.
There's no way.
Like, there's no way unless he lost 150 pounds.
No, but you can see Bryce Langston he's in the middle. I don't know who this mysterious, he's not on the roster. Who is this man?
Must be he's probably like a walk-on, and they just haven't added him to the roster.
I thought walk-ons would get added until school starts. Isn't that right?
He might be like a preferred walk-on where
Maybe
he showed up a week before.
This guy might be a player.
Oh, Landon Jackson was a Coach O favorite too.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna be a player for Arkansas this year, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They took him to media day.
Media day, yeah.
Yeah.
Corey Rogers, Johnny Wilson is not a better receiver than Malik Neighbors.
Who said that?
This is Corey Rogers has been trolling the whole day.
I don't know who this man is.
He said Perk is overrated.
Yeah, but Johnny Wilson is just a 6'7" receiver. Like I haven't seen him do anything special. I haven't seen speed from him. I haven't seen anything but jump balls. So that's where I'm at.
He had a great bowl game.
But that was all jump balls.
And he had a great he played well against LSU too. Little flea flicker.
Jump balls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the flea flicker was another receiver.
Yes. But I forgot that they even did that. I'm not watching that game again.
I tried to.
What?
LSU Florida State.
Yeah, I tried to watch it again and it just pains me.
It is. It is.
Like we just let them do like whatever they wanted.
I had them on the other. I had it on the TV the other day, and it's just like, good Lord.
It's so clunky.
Yeah, it looks so bad.
It's just like
Brian Kelly said it at half. He's like, this might be the worst we could play.
First play of the game.
That's why, I mean,
21 yard screen.
I know that both teams have improved mightily since they met in the Dome. But I saw the line come out at LSU -3.
-2.5 right now.
Minus
That's what I would
2.5.
snag it now.
this guy.
Already did.
Degenerate.
I mean, I think it probably kicks off at like a pick'em.
You think so? I think it's going to go the other way. I think it'll probably be LSU minus 3.5 just because of the.
I mean,
it's LSU.
It's a home game for Florida State. I mean, really?
Said the same thing last year. It was a home game for LSU, but it really was a Florida State travel. So I would imagine they'll have people there.
But I mean, what they're saying is that they're calling this a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is that LSU would be favored by 6 at home.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that.
I mean, I wouldn't touch that.
2.5 makes me nervous. But I also think there's a world where LSU wins by 3 touchdowns.
I agree with that.
Same.
I know what you're talking about.
This is the same torture chamber I put
Because
myself in every
because
year.
of watching the other night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you think, like, they couldn't come out that flat and out of whack.
Ever again.
I mean, if you kept them in the dark for the last 2 months. I mean, like, it just...
I mean, you got...
They couldn't play that bad.
If you told them to.
I mean, like, if you tried to like, I mean, like, the stuff, they were snapping the ball over the head. They were jumping on sides.
2
they
fumbled
had
punts.
linemen downfield, 2 punts, block field. I forgot they had multiple.
It was like 3.
I mean, like, I forgot about
goals.
that. I mean, like, the one at the end takes the
cake.
Yeah, right. But I mean, like, they had field goals being blocked in the first half.
Yeah, like
was that the first drive?
The first one.
You would have won the game essentially.
All you had to do was make one
by making one of those kicks.
He couldn't get it over the center's ass. They couldn't get the ball over. They couldn't kick the ball back to the line of scrimmage.
Jeez.
I mean, it's almost embarrassing when you go
looking
back
on it. It has to be like if I'm a special teams coach. And they're like, well, how'd 2023 go for you?
I lost my job.
Like, I mean, like...
I'm actually the AD
at my alma mater.
Alumni.
Yeah.
At a
I
small
mean,
D3
I had to get
school
my
now.
dad to pull some strings for me and get my AD job at my alma mater.
I don't even know if I'm accredited to do this.
I mean,
You know who my dad is?
Yeah.
Brian Kelly got me this job.
Yeah. Take your hat and go.
I don't know.
Take your little gold hat and go, coach.
You ain't going to see a gold hat this year.
Quit stealing stuff out of my locker.
How did you get that? One of one.
I like the new guy that they have doing special teams though. He seems like
Jancic?
Not Jancic. It's another. I think he might be like the analyst that they have that took over.
They talk about him all the
Jancic.
time.
Yeah, I forget his name though, but he's like really energetic, and you could tell like all of the coaches are working with special teams and they put every player through special teams drills.
I love that.
It's not just the defense.
I love that.
It's not just the offense catching punts or whatever. Like one day they were doing tackling drills for special teams, and they made everybody go through tackling drills, hit the bag.
Get back to the
everything.
days where they're all on special teams. Like, I want to see Harold Perkins covering a punt.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want to see all of them.
The punt team is this is just frontline guys and the gunner. It's Harold Perkins, Omar Spates, Major Burns,
Quincy.
I think Quincy's one of the personal protectors.
That's fine.
Quincy and
just
Ovia,
I'm talking about put him out there.
Right. Quincy and Ovia Gofu are one of the personal protectors, and I think Mason Lunsford is like the third one.
Who's the gunners? Chris Hilton?
No,
you gotta put
Sage,
DB.
Sage and LaTerrence Welch has worked there.
Taviano,
like they mix and match. Like they send them all through it, but it's major. Like usually like a DB, like a corner or a nickel.
You talking about Bob Diaco?
Yeah.
Yes, that's who it is.
Big energy guy.
That's Kelly's dude, man.
Big energy guy.
Well,
they go back.
Well, we had a problem with that at one point.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, if you're getting qualified guys, I mean, first off, if you're in coaching for 30 years.
It's a little bit of buddy in there.
I mean, they're all in a fraternity. I mean, it's a frat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like they vacation with one another. They hang with each other. I mean, they pretty much spend more time with one another than they do with their family.
Definitely.
So I mean, 30 years in, you got a drinking pal. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. But I mean, what has to
Polian, you can come over.
What has to qualify is you got to be able to do your job.
Right.
You can't be Cam Cameron and Brian Polian. You know what I mean? It can't be these guys where you're like, well, how'd they get here? Well, I mean, like, because I know their dad. You know, like, well, I stood in his wedding. Like, well, I mean, who cares?
Feet up on the desk.
Yeah, like, get him out of here.
It's gonna fly.
I was in his daughter's wedding.
I mean, you're playing with an endless budget. Like, get these guys out of here. Go pay somebody. Get them in here.
Go get Bob Diaco. I still wish they'd get McMahon. He's not doing. He's coaching in the USFL or I think XFL.
He's not on Texas's staff.
Who? Greg McMahon?
Yeah, I think he was coaching in the XFL.
I think
He was
just
on
got a
Texas's
job.
staff last year.
Let's see where you're at, old
So
Gregor.
scoop him up.
I just think there's a hot stove effect of former.
Oh, he's at Tulane now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Special teams coordinator. He just wants a job.
Tulane's doing it, Coach.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they got it.
Mm-hmm. They're going to get into a
I was
conference.
about to say they should be making a bid to like go to the Big 12.
They're going to get into
one
a
of them.
conference.
Come back to the
Man.
SEC.
18.
They're more
25,
attractive
Tulane.
than a lot of people are right now.
I mean, I'd take Tulane over like
Oregon
Vandy.
State.
But I'm saying like in the SEC, like
Oh,
I'd take
yeah.
Tulane over Vandy.
Oh, you can't just have a 1 year. It's a 1 year heater.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like
for the overall.
Douse Vandy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about relegation.
Yeah.
I really am. I think that you should play it like that.
Wait, did Vandy
Could
finish
you
their
imagine?
stadium?
People would lose their minds.
They would. It would become Premier Soccer. It would become European soccer where you're like,
If you're worried about NIL now.
like you're throwing like,
Get kicked out the SEC.
Mazel tov. So, I mean, like bottle rockets. I mean, like just
Green Street hooligans
just
fighting in the street.
So Vandy has
Just
been,
don't come in last.
Vandy has been doing
Yeah.
renovations on their football stadium, and it's
They're not done yet.
And
They're
they
not going to
have-
be ready for the season.
And I want to say they have a home game like to
Mhm.
open the season.
Have you seen that?
And I saw a tweet the other day. I was like, they will play their games at like a high school field.
Still can't fill it up.
can't fill it up.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
I went to in 2019. We went to a bachelor party, and that's the game that we went to because Nashville's awesome.
Mhm.
But we went to the Jamar Chase game, and Vanderbilt is like they needed to do construction. It's nothing. It is one of the saddest stadiums I've ever
It's on
been
campus.
to.
It's like
Yes.
yeah.
The-
Yeah,
but
it's terrible.
The draw is the baseball.
It's
field.
like
Right.
Memorial
It's like
Stadium.
10 times. Oh, it's
Is that
disgusting.
the place where LSU took over the parking garage?
Yes, and
Yeah.
all the beer,
Right.
and the mimosas and screwdrivers. They're out of vodka at 11 a.m.
no-
They're like, "Why are y'all? What are y'all doing?"
There's no liquor here.
Yeah, they were nervous.
The dry county
Took over
actually.
the town.
We've got confirmation that number 81 is R.J. Willis,
Put him
a
in.
redshirt sophomore.
Okay.
Is that R.J. Willis in the chat?
What you talking about, Willis?
It's Dev. Comes from Dev. Appreciate that, Dev.
Centennial High School.
All right, everybody hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here on this Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, as always, at 7 a.m. Make sure and tell a friend. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscription button. We appreciate you starting your day here with us. Remember, every day we're built by RMB Builders. RMB-builders.com is where you can find them online. Have a good Tuesday. We'll back with you tomorrow morning.
If you hopped in a time machine, if you just got out, would you still think you'd be able to name the top 5 teams in college football?
Absolutely.
It seems like they're not going to change for the next 10 years.
Not going anywhere.
Michigan might be the only one like just put in that
In and
Ohio
out.
State.
Yeah.
But if I had like an alternate, I would be like Michigan.
Yeah. Like, give me one more guess.
or like Clemson, maybe.
Yeah.
How did Harbaugh skate?
I think he told I think he just flipped the
said-
bird. That
he said, "I'm not doing that."
But that should be the blueprint. Don't talk to these clowns.
You're suspended for a game.
I'm
No, I'm
not.
not.
Like, y'all don't
Or what?
Oh, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Y'all don't even have a boss.
Like no, like the last thing the NCAA wants to do is get into a PR war. Like you want to like buck the you want to get everybody behind you. Harbaugh, show up game 1 and coach. Everybody be like, "There's my hero.
Yes.
There's my guy."
Stick it to the men.
I love
In the
Harbaugh.
Oasis.
Sticking it to
And
the
as soon
man.
as the NCAA comes out and says, "Oh no, he can't coach," be like, "Watch out, you
You need a
square.
coach in cleats.
Get out of here, you nerd."
Back in your locker.
Like,
Cleats
I
and
just
gloves.
stuff you in the toilet, Mark Emmert. You know what I mean? Nobody's listening to you, but that's what they need. They need a blue blood. They need Michigan football, Kentucky basketball, LSU baseball to say it's right here.
Come and get it, Cosmos.
Yeah, right. Suspended 4 games. Yeah, right. I'll be
You are.
calling plays game 1. Do something about it.
Actually, I might just get on the broadcast too.
I mean, like, I'm so glad that he did that.
And I
you know,
know-
would they say, like, come talk? He was like, no, I'm not talking to you.
And I bet like game day is gonna have him on like
Oh,
before
yeah.
the game, like talking to him on
It's
the
a
field.
totally different, like, college game day doesn't care what the NCAA said.
No.
It's such a great move by Harbaugh. Just to
It's,
be like,
it's the best.
because, and then nobody wants to talk about it because,
Right.
like, oh, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, what are you going to say? Because you know he'll be like, well, I just told him no.
Yeah.
I mean,
The only person they got was Herm. And he's like, I don't even know what my mascot is for Arizona State. Talk about them Devils now. It's like, no, that's your mascot. He's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here, dude.
Is that right?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Been in the NFL too long. We don't have no Devils there.
I'm be talking about them Devils now.
But yeah, man, I'm fully supporting Harbaugh in this. Like, coach the first. I hope he coaches the first game.
Well, I think it's over.
Yeah, I think he's like.
He just said nah, and they're like, okay.
Well, I mean, is he recognizing the suspension at all?
No.
Or did they ask to like talk, and he was like, I'm not talking to you? Or he's like saying, I'm not sitting for 4 games.
They said the NCAA the suspension deal broke down.
I love it.
No.
Typical NCAA.
I love it.
But they won't let kids transfer to schools to be closer to their families.
I love it. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, man, this Jalen Cook situation with the basketball team's a mess. It's a mess.
How did that happen?
Double waiver thing, like the NCAA. I mean, it's the NCAA. If
NCAA
I'm LSU,
stuff.
like I don't know if LSU basketball has the luxury of doing something like this just because of what they're coming out of. But I mean, like in this type of events, it's like play the kid. Like, play them.
What, you got to vacate my wins?
But, like the NCAA oversees the tournament.
That's where they still have pull.
That's where they still have power. And that's ultimately what they don't want to lose power of. But, things like Harbaugh telling them to F off and I'm coaching when you tell me I'm suspended is, like the stuff that gets this stuff really moving. So
for this, for the Harbaugh, the drama striking Jim Harbaugh and the NCAA heated up over the weekend when the governing body for collegiate athletics reportedly rejected a proposed 4-game suspension. So Harbaugh was cool with it.
Right.
Michigan brought the 4-game suspension. NCAA said, no, we're still looking into it. And the reason he wanted 4 games is because I think the 5th game is when they start like conference play. And so he was trying to skate through their out-of-conference and not really have to coach. And then they're like, no, we're still looking into it. So this is where the NCAA Harbaugh can kind of fire back if they say, no, it's 6 games. He's like, no, I'll do 4 if you're lucky.
Actually, I'm not doing it.
Actually, I might do none.
Get him, Jimmy. Get him, Jimmy.
The Harbaugh household. It'll raise quitters.
All right, we'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Appreciate you being there. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Make sure and subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. And we're built daily by RMB.
Told you to take that over, Jeff.
It's the Jordy Culotta show. Come have a good time, yeah. Hey, Chino. Put my headphones up, bro. You right there. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification. We about to go live. We got all your favorite guests. We got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta show. Come have a good time. It's the hottest show around. We ain't got to flex. Call up G, we get it done.